this is Nadine Lajoie, your TV host for the Web TV Win the Race of Life inspirational radio show, TV show at this time. And we have Jill Lublin, which is one of the experts in the industry in publicity, guerrilla publicity, how to make more money by more exposure in the media. And as you know me, I love to be in the media on radio show, TV show, and Jill was my coach as a media expert a few years ago. So I learned from the master, and now I want to share the master with you. Jill Lublin is a really incredible woman, a motivational speaker. She's speaking also around the world, and it's my pleasure today at the Web TV show to welcome Jill Lublin. Hi, Jill.
Hey, Nadine. Glad to be here with you, really.
Yes, a couple of difficulties, but finally we are here to inspire people into their publicity. And let us know a little bit more about you, and after that you can go right into the subject.
Well, you actually said a lot of it, but I'm a three-time best-selling author. I've written a book on McGraw Hill called Get Noticed Get Referrals, one with J. Conrad Levinson called Guerrilla Publicity, which is the subject today, and then another one called Networking Magic. So my specialty is to really help entrepreneurs, small business owners, coaches, consultants, speakers, to really get your word out, increase visibility, and I do this through publicity crash courses as well as live consulting and then speaking to audiences all over the world.
Wow. And you coached me a few years ago, and you are always on top of your game. And let us know a little bit those days in the last year, maybe what is working best in the media according to your expertise.
Yes, well, you know, here's the deal, and I know people get concerned about, is media going away? It's not going away. You're looking right now at a new form of media, Google Hangout, web TV shows. These are great places to pick up more publicity. Blogs and social media, of course, utilize that for publicity. But hey, people are still watching CNN, BBC. People are still listening to radio and television and actually reading newspapers, even if it's online. So you're still pitching the same way, just the medium might vary a little bit. I think that's the big difference.
And how people can get millions of dollars in publicity for free, because you were telling us your story, how to get into the newspaper, like the print newspaper. You had a couple of tricks for us, right?
Absolutely. So the first thing is you've got to have a great script. In other words, you need to know, what are you pitching? Like, who are you? Why should people care? That's really important. So make sure that you're clear on your message. That's first, that's foremost before you go out. But I want you also to take advantage of events that are happening today and what's going on today, like our dear sweet Robin Williams and his death. If you're a psychologist, if you're a person who's schooled in grief, if you're a grief counselor, like somebody I worked with and a grief coach, I want you calling your local television, newspaper, radio, and get yourself in the news, because they need experts now. So take a look at what's happening with your local news, your international news, and hook yourself on that bandwagon depending on what your subject matter is, so that you can be the one that the media goes to. You're the expert. Remember that. That's what we want to underline here, is your expertise.
Yes, and I was thinking of you actually yesterday because of what happens with Robin Williams. And you know me, my nonprofit is Keep Dreaming, Keep Living, because I went through those idea of suicide. So I have already a couple of articles like in the pipeline since yesterday. Of course, English is not my first language, so I need editing and all that, but we are planning to be out like tonight in a couple of press releases. And I remember teach us on use whatever you get. Can you explain a little bit more that everybody, we have so many different expertise and different fields, how we can use everything we get to get into the newspaper?
Yeah, and I call it use everything you've got. So you being French and speaking French, perhaps there might be a way to use that. And being an international speaker, being a a race driver and using the race of life. Robin Williams didn't win the race in life, unfortunately, and I'm very sad about this. I think we all are. But perhaps you put your spin on that about the race in life, and it is somewhat just staying in the race, isn't it? No matter how we feel, no matter what's going on in our lives, the ups, the downs, we all have them. So I think that's really powerful. The fact that, Nadine, you thought perhaps one time of suicide. I think we all have gone through some, depression, some anxiety, some fears in our life. That's very normal. Yet how we deal with it is what will help us to get through it. And I think the sensitivity to this matter is that we all have felt it one way or another. But using everything you've got, for instance, one of my clients, she's a coach. She's African American. And she had taken my publicity crash course, and I said, Sylvia, I want you to get into Black enterprise. Now, she's a goals coach. So using everything she's got, we talk about goals for January, for December. Those are the months of the year that we think about goals. For you, and all of you watching this, think about what months of the year your subject matter could fit in. If you're a financial planner, perhaps it's April, and December, of course, because we're looking at goals. But also, Sylvia, being African American, used that's called use everything you've got, and got into Black enterprise, got into her local African American media outlet, got into urban radio. So I want you to be thinking about perhaps your religion, your race, being a woman, being a man, so your gender, what your subject matter is, and can it fit into the news using everything you've got. Another psychologist, for instance, who is an expert in children. When the terrible tragedy happened in Littleton, Colorado, we sent him out talking about how to deal with grief. That got him on CNN. So go ahead and use everything you've got, all that you can, so that you can make the news and have an impact on the message that you need to put forth.
And my question to you on that would be, because a lot of people, they are telling you need to focus on one message. What you're saying is completely different, but at the same time, I think you are using your core message with different entry points, so that's why we are using what we've got, right?
That's right. And here's the truth. You're still Nadine, I'm still Jill. So, like, for instance, I've done some volunteer work, and sometimes I've used that to get and gain more publicity. And if you're doing any volunteer work in your community, great way to get more publicity. It might be about the volunteer work, but it will still say your name so that when someone does a search on Google, they will find you. So your core message absolutely is your core message. You're a certain expert who solves a certain problem. Nadine, you're always talking about winning the race of life and peak performance and team building. Great. However, there might be something like in the Robin Williams case where he didn't win the race of life, and that's how I might put the two together at this time. It's not exactly your core message, and for those listening, think about what your message does and how it can get into the heart and the gut. I'm pointing to my gut of others, and that's what we want to look at, is your message using everything you've got anytime you can so that your message goes forward and that people now know who you are. It's creating the name recognition and what I like to call the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Oh, I like that. I get claps.
Yeah. So, Jill, what would be the last 3 points that you would like to resume for our people, and also how they can reach you and work with you in the long term?
Thank you. So, a couple things. Your message. Look at that word message. In fact, it would be so great. Sorry, I meant to write a piece of paper on this to show you the word message. But if you write down the word message, the first 2 letters are me. The last 4 letters are sage. And it's about taking your wisdom out to the public. And in fact, the first 4 letters are mess. And a mess is what happens if you don't get your word out and impact others the way you need to. So the second point is a great way to do your message and to have one that's powerful is to solve problems in the marketplace. because you are an expert. And then third point, I want to underline it, is to use everything you've got. So we're looking at news reports. Look online, do Google searches, see what's up in the news right now. And a great free resource I want to share with you is HARO, Help a Reporter Out.com. Take a look at they're looking for people just like you right now. So take a look at HARO. That's a great place to go for right now news that you can answer. So most importantly, you are the news. You have to remember that. Whatever your message is, we can find ways to fit it in and have you be the star. And when I say star, don't get caught up in ego. It's not about that. It's about taking your message further, getting your name more known, creating more trust in the marketplace, more visibility, more credibility. That's what gets you known. That's what I want and wish for you. So in terms of ways to work with me, first I want to give you a free gift, and a wonderful free gift that's going to get you more publicity, goes in depth in publicity points right now, the things that you need to hear. So go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. Perhaps, Nadine, you can put this in the Google Hangout. So it's publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift, and get a free gift from me which gives you more publicity tips. And then I'd love to work with you. I teach publicity crash courses all across the nation, and for those of you who don't want to travel, we do it as a live webinar right online, right with me. This is a course that gives you the no-nonsense 4 documents that you need to get the press to say yes to you. And Nadine, because they're coming through you, just tell us you saw us here on Nadine's show, and we'll give you a half-price discount. So that's really cool, and get you rocking. Nadine, you've actually taken the course. You've been right there with me, and I hope to see more of those of you getting your message out.
Yes, and I really want to thank you, Jill, because as you know, since you work with me, I'm all over the place in the media. I got a new PR firm that are really awesome, and I think I already referred them to you, and I am willing to refer them also to people who are listening to us. Because like being on the media, on radio 10, 15 times a month, that really brings me more exposure, more people on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, people who are discovering me because I was on radio somewhere, on TV somewhere. And when I coach my client, of course, I use everything I've got. So all the press kit, the press releases, and a lot of people, I'm surprised that a lot of people on their website, they don't have a press kit page. For me, when I got a radio show or somebody who maybe want to have me on their TV interview, I just send them one link, which is my press kit page, and I really follow a bunch of your advice, Jill, to build that. So what would be your recommendation on that? Because people want to be on the media, but they don't even have something on the press kit.
Yeah, so it's such an easy fix. That's the good news. Put a media or press room right on your website, on your blog, link it back, on your social media, link it back, and make sure to include any press you've gotten into your social media, your blogs, and of course, hello friends, send it out to your prospects, your clients, and let people know the great things that's happening for you. Because here's the truth, even if they don't read the whole thing, they're impacted because they keep seeing your name. This is what we call the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome.
Awesome. So it's time to go, and I really like working with you, Jill, and thank you so much. Your website so that people can connect with you.
Thank you, and Nadine, always wonderful to see you, and so glad all these great things are happening for you. And then the way to connect is publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. And then if you want to talk to us about the publicity course or consulting, feel free to call our office at 415-883-5455. Be great to hear and talk to any of you, and let's get you rocking and rolling and getting your news out there.
Catching, if you want to make money, you need to have a lot of publicity. So thanks a lot, Jill, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.